As boxing fans who grew up in the 1970s, this guy was part of an impressive group. Well, we call Latino fighters from North America, Central America, and South America. He was a hero to many in Canada. Smooth as silk, fought some of the toughest welterweights of his era. Fought two of the four kings, and his name has come up in conversation a lot this week because with the passing of Marvin Hagler and the legacy of the four kings, this guy was prominent because he unfortunately lost his welterweight title to Thomas Hitman Hearns and lost the fight to Duran, but it doesn't tarnish his legacy one bit because Pipino Cuevas took on the best fighters of his generation, and we're going to get into a little bit of that very soon because it's just impressive the quality of fighters and the quality of fighter he was. Now, Jose Isidro Pipino Cuevas Gonzalez was born December 27, 1957 in Santo Tomas de los Plantos in Mexico. Now, he was eventually inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame in celebration of his great career. Now, he only had 50 fights, 35 and 15, but 31 of those victors came by KO. So there was a lot of comparison when he was fighting to Jose Napoli, to Antonio Cervantes, to Roberto Duran for his tenacity in finishing off opponents or basically dominating the opposition. Now, he turned professional at the age of 14. He won only 7 of his first 12 bouts, but eventually put together an 8-bout winning streak before losing to top 20 contender Andy Price. Now, on July 17, 1976, he received a shot to the WBA welterweight title against champion Angel Espada. He pulled off an upset victory by knocking Espada to the canvas 3 times in the second round. Now, at the time, he was the youngest welterweight champion in history at only 18. Now, he had a lot of respect in my household because I started college when I just turned 18, and my dad said, well, you're like Cuevas, you're a little bit ahead of your time. And Cuevas at 18 was a tremendous what they call fighter, inside and outside, could let his hands go, very, very accurate, again, just like a baby Duran or, a full contact fighter, as we say. Now, in his first defense, he traveled to Japan, of all places, and defeated hometown fighter Shoji Tujimoto by knockout. Now, one of the greatest wins of his career, we still talk about it, was against Argentinian Miguel Angel Campaniano, who boasted an impressive record of 84-4-4, including a 32-fight winning streak. Now, once again, Pipino disposed of his challenger before the end of the second round. Now, he became an international sensation because of his coverage in Ring Magazine and also because of his defeat of top contender Clyde Gray from Canada. Now, on June 8, 1977, when he faced Gray had only been stopped twice in his entire career, which included 58 wins. Yet again, Cuevas pulled off another second-round knockout, and a few months later, he returned to the ring for a rematch against Espada. Now, this time, Cuevas had defeated Espada in a much tougher fight in the 11th round after he sustained a broken jaw. Now, on March 4th, 1978, he disposed of the great Harold Weston in the 9th round, after Weston also sustained a broken jaw like Espada. Now, Cuevas then went on to defeat former champion, the very tough Billy Backus, in 1 round. Now, on September 9, 1978, he defeated hometown favorite Pete Ranzani, a very underrated fighter, in Sacramento, California, via a second-round knockout. He then defeated Scott Clark in another second-round KO. From there, his next title defense went to distance, a unanimous decision against the durable Randy Shields, who entered the fight 33-5-1. Now, his old nemesis Espada came about again on December 8, 1979. He faced him for the 3rd time, stopping him in the 10th round. Cuevas then defeated South African national champion Harold Volbrecht by 5th round knockout. Now, because of the emergence of the Four Kings, you knew something was going to be happening. Either Duran or Leonard or Hearns was going to take him on. Now, he unfortunately lost the title in 1980 to the undefeated and up-and-coming hometown hero, Thomas Hearns, in Detroit. The much taller and lankier Hearns, which I think He was 5 or 6 inches taller than Cuevas, was able to use his reach to his advantage as he kept Cuevas at a distance and knocked him out in the second round. I watched that fight, and that was a war, ladies and gentlemen. It didn't last long, but it was a war. Now, unfortunately, Cuevas' talent for victory became to decline after the loss. The most notable opponent he faced was, of all people, Roberto Duran, who this was considered the unofficial Latino welterweight world title at the time. He fought Duran, and it was a strong fight for both fighters until the fourth round, where Duran won by knockout. Now, this was the spring of '83. Now, he eventually lost to former world title challenger Yun Suk Hwang and a future of former world champions Jorge Vaca and Lupe Aquino before retiring in '89. Now, the quality of opposition, forget the 15 losses, the quality of the opposition, other than Ali and a few other fighters, they never had the level of importance as who Cuevas fought. Now, let's go over this for a second. He fought during a period when an unusual number of accomplished welterweights were active. The top 30 was just tremendous. At the time, and he didn't fight these people, he also had Sugar Ray Leonard, Wilfred Benitez, and Carlos Palomino, and again, Hearns and Duran. Hagler was a higher weight, and I don't think Cuevas at 160 would have been as active as he was at 147. Now, his reign, of course, came to an end as Leonard, Benitez, Hearns, and Duran emerged as welterweight champions. Now, he successfully defended his welterweight title 11 times against 10 different boxers over a 4-year span. Now, during his reign, he fought the best opposition available to him in total. The opponents he faced throughout his career had a combined record, you're sitting down for this, ladies and gentlemen, 505, 70, and 29. In 2003, the ring listed Cuevas as number 31 on the list of the 100 greatest punchers of all time. I would have given him top 30, but 30 or 31 doesn't really make too much of a difference. Again, he became a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame soon after. Now, he has been very busy in retirement. He's been an owner of a restaurant and a security company in Mexico City. At one point in his career, he was also the owner of the famous sports and luxury car collection. And he was one of the first boxers to sport, get this, a golden tooth. Now, because most people know him by his nickname Pipino, which it's far more used to refer him than Jose by fight commentators and magazine writers, and this was, of course, a term of endearment. Now, you look at his pro record, just to put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen, he became a hero on the West Coast because he fought several key fights at the Olympic Auditorium, and when his trip to Japan made him an international hero there as well. But you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, he was not scared to fight anybody. You look at the level of opposition, it was quite strong. But the thing, what really hurt him a little bit, is that he never took on any tomato cans, and these fighters were basically there to challenge his skill. But like I said, Cuevas at one point, if I'm not mistaken, he had 2 win streaks. I think there was one of 8 fights and one about 10. And like I said, he was just tremendous. So you look at the top 10 welterweights of the 1970s and 80s. Again, he's got to be top 6 for sure. I would like to see him fight against Palomino and Benitez, but Palomino and Benitez were still, a little bit, not say better than him, but it would be a different challenge. But if Cuevas was given an opportunity, I mean, how many people that broke the jaws of 2 very key fighters during their career? Like I said, that power punches. And I look at that fight against Clyde Gray, which, broke every heart of every Canadian, but in the words of Clyde Gray, he said it was no disgrace losing to Pipino, because Pipino really was the best of the best. So, ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is a tribute not only to Pipino, but the Four Kings legacy and the legacy of the welterweight division of the 70s and 80s. It was a very special time because every time you picked up Ring Magazine, there was something about Pipino, something about the Sugar Ray coming up, something about Hearns, Benitez. How lucky we were. ladies and gentlemen, to live in the greatest era for welterweights of all time. And Pipino had his own chapter. It's almost like a book of the best of the best. And, you turn the pages and you look up the, C, the next one is Duran. Benitez, Cuevas, Duran. H would be Hearns. L would be Leonard. G would be Gray. Just tremendous. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing here with our boxing podcast, give us a like, comment, or subscribe. And wishing a great St. Patrick's Day to all the pseudo-Irish and real Irish out there. Have a good day. Bye.